Titans in Tennessee, and the Cowboys face the 49ers. I'm Pete Fox. This is NBC Sports Radio.
This is KCAA.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Gretchen Kcaa. Got a minute? A lot of fishermen will tell you that fish have kind of a sixth sense. They avoid obstacles, effortlessly slalom between vortices or whirlpools, and hide from predators, even when they can't see. But how do they do it? Researchers from the University of Florida and New York University think they've found the answer. Nearly all fish, they say, have a similar network of sensors along their bodies that are exquisitely sensitive to changes in water pressure. The report is in the journal Physical Review Letters. For the study, the researchers made a plastic rainbow trout with an accurate configuration of flow sensors on its body. Known as the lateral line, these sensors apparently act like a hydrodynamic antenna, picking up signals about the flow of water around them. They put the fake fish in water and simulated important real-life situations. For example, a bigger fish swimming nearby that might want to turn the trout into sushi. The researchers noted that the natural setup of the fish's sensors includes a higher density of them on the parts of the body subject to the greatest pressure changes. So the sensory awareness of its environment is highly resolved, showing that the notion that fish have a sixth sense isn't fishy at all. Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Gretchen Kcaa.
Controlled? Well, maybe. Chaos? Definitely. Tune in weekday mornings, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for Controlled Chaos with Gary Garver, Jigga, Dave, and Mary Tonga. KCAA, 1050 a.m. You have to hear it to believe it.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
KCAA.
No stopping us now, folks. We're on the road. Believe me, this is an interesting day, a wonderful day. And if you are in Southern California, once again, it's probably the most beautiful day in or on the planet. Be glad you're here. Be glad you're near. Be glad you are not. Be glad you are not Yolanda Holder, because if you were Yolanda Holder, you would have great obligations and responsibility, and you would probably just now be completing your midnight walk. Yolanda Holder, really a very, very strong woman, someone that we all should admire, and I'm not even going to say attempt to be like, because I would have to lead that, and I don't even want to try.
No.
Okay, Yolanda Holder, by the way, is the walking diva. This is a lady who has committed herself to walking 10,000 miles this year. What? Not in her life.
This year.
This year. I'm Wallace Allen on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. This is Empire Talks Back. I want to thank you for joining us. We've got Mr. Jamal Lilly in the studio.
Good morning.
Along with our wonderful friend here, Miss Naomi Riggins. And Joe's in the studio, in the engineering box. Leonard should be calling in. This day, we're going to celebrate women, period. Just, the power of women. Last week, we had a guest call in that was pretty upset with the fact that she thinks that black men hate black women. And as we moved into the conversation, it appears that the media, TV, all of those guys tend to push imagery of black women that tends to make some of the black women upset. And I can't say that I blame them because I love black women. I love women. I love black women in particular because my mama gave me life. Praise the Lord.
That's the only reason?
No, that's not the other reason. I do have to say I wonder sometimes about, the sanity that goes on with the deep love. My wife has been with me 40 years. We met
That's an achievement.
40 years ago yesterday.
Oh, man. You remember the day you met.
Well,
the date
of course I remember the day.
Met.
I remember the moment.
I remember the day.
The moment
but
when
not
I
the
first
date.
saw her, the whole thing. She questions me on that occasionally, and I pretend to, tease her a little bit and pretend that I don't remember. But I remember looking at them big, pretty legs when I walked in the door.
You know what? I remember similar things.
Something. I said, "Wow, who is this?" Anyway, I don't want to get too far, but
Don't
we've
go
got
too far.
we have 3 wonderful children and a bunch of grandbabies to prove it. 3 children that we made, 2 that she absorbed. Wonderful. Oh, my gosh. Wonderful women. Oh, I want to bring us up to date on Alexis Reeves, our intern, called me yesterday from school.
All right.
In school.
All right.
Got a job.
Oh, man, she's
Didn't even
batting 1,000.
Didn't have a checking account, so she's sitting on money.
Oh, no, you
Man,
got to.
I can't. But she would appreciate. I told her get a bank account,
Please.
a Wells Fargo or Bank of America, something that
Gotta get that
we
started.
could be easily transferring money to her as things go along. But she's all anxious, happy happy about school and anxious to get involved with meeting people. I gave her the big daddy talk.
Okay.
Don't be. Well, I can't tell y'all all that I told her because I got a little frank and candid in terms of
Yeah, but you needed to, though.
Yeah, you got to do that. We got to let her know that we love her, we care for her, and that we're not next door and can't come immediately to help. So we've got to do things to make that work. Back to one of our favorite heroines, Miss Yolanda Holder. Yolanda is on the phone with us now. Are you there?
I am.
Oh, my goodness. Did you take a nap since we talked to her this morning? She called at 6-something this morning. I don't know why she thought she talked to me that early, but she did call. She did call and to let us know that she would not be able to come into the studio this morning because she was completing her 26-mile walk last night. I might
That's a
get up and walk.
marathon.
I might get up and walk around the block, walk to the mailboxes. She got up at 1:00 in the morning to walk 26 miles. This was part of her. Yolanda, would you tell us why you got up at 1:00 in the morning to walk 26 miles? And we all know that you're going to start a 525-mile walk tomorrow to 500 miles. She's going to walk from Laguna to San Francisco. All of that is part of her campaign to fight type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
But why she got up at 1:00 in the morning this morning to walk, I don't know. So would you explain that to us?
Normally I I start my walk between 3 and 4 a.m., but I wanted to come in person to be on your show. So it usually takes me anywhere from 6 to 8 hours to complete 26 miles. So I got up at 1 a.m. and started on my walk, and then I was a little tired, so I couldn't make it in. So that's why I called you at 6 o'clock, because I knew I wouldn't be able to complete the walk, shower, and drive.
She's human. She is human. Yolanda Holder is not a robot. She's human. Matter of fact, some of you thought she was all heart, but she's got to be legs too in order to make these kind of walks. Yolanda, tell us about your pledge for 10,000 miles. What is that all about?
My pledge for 10,000 miles is I'm already a 2-time Guinness World Record holder, and I'm on a quest to go for my 3rd Guinness. And to complete that, I have to do an average of 25 miles a day, but I want to set the bar completely as high as I can because, see, these ladies, they come after me. Okay. My record has been broken twice.
Okay.
So I want to set the bar as high as I can, at least 10,000 miles, so that no one will break my record.
What is the record that you're breaking? What is the record that you're breaking?
Yet, but they're already after me, so I don't talk too much about the 10,000 miles. But what's really close to my heart is losing both my parents to diabetes, and this is the 3rd year I'm walking for diabetes. Last year I walked from Corona to Las Vegas via Death Valley, and it took me 10 days. And this year I'm going to take the cool and beautiful route, which is Laguna Beach to San Francisco via the coast.
And you're going at 26 miles a day.
I'm actually doing an average of 33 miles a day to get there in 15 days. My mom died on September 2nd, 3 years ago, Labor Day. So I do this walk in her honor around Labor Day. And so to get there in 15 days, I have to do, I think it's an average of 33. Tomorrow will be 32.88 miles. And then I think the next day is like 34 miles. So
we'll be with you in spirit. But beyond that, we'd like to be with you in terms of your mission. How do people support what you're doing?
You can go to my website, yolandaholder.com. You can either sponsor me. There's 2... you can click on sponsorship and you can sponsor, or if you just want to donate, you click on donate, and anything is $5 to whatever is helpful. Like I said, with type 2 diabetes, that's what both of my parents died of the complications. They both. My mom had a massive stroke, and then my father had a heart attack, and so we African Americans, we are number 1 with type 2 diabetes. And I just want to bring awareness that something as simple as changing the way you eat and moving your body every day. And I like to move mine by walking, because walking to me is the most easiest thing to do. But I like to tell people, if you like to ride your bike, ride your bike. If you like to go climbing, go hiking. I mean, just moving your body every day. It not only helps with your type 2 diabetes, but your cholesterol, your heart. It's just, walking is just simple. It's just simple and easy. You don't have to do a marathon distance like me every day, but 30 minutes a day really helps.
30 minutes a day helps. 33 miles a day is amazing. And both of those will probably keep the doctor away. Somewhere in between is what we should probably seek. We should probably eat much better than we're eating. Matter of fact, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, Yolanda, I'd like to know what you ate yesterday, what you're going to eat today, and what do you plan to eat as you take this walk, your walk from Laguna to San Francisco, 525 miles in 15 days, as a salute to her parents, who both were lost to type 2 diabetes, and as a warning to you, the general public, that you don't want to do it like that. You do want to exercise and eat correctly, and give yourself the best shot at living a good, long, healthy life that you can. This is Wallace Allen. Empire Talks Back. We'll be back very shortly to talk more with the heroine of the day, Miss Yolanda Holder, the walking diva. Be right back.
Publish your legal notice in Westside Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. Westside Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call Westside Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
KCAA is your CNBC news affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen on the case for truth, justice, with the right information to help improve the situation. Folks, you can improve your life if you listen to Miss Yolanda Holder and the example she's setting. She's going to walk 525 miles in the next 15 days to help bring awareness to the dangers of type 2 diabetes and to alert you to eating better and exercising more as a possible preventive action for you and keeping you separated from type 2 diabetes and healthy in a lot of other senses. Mrs. Holder.
Yes.
Is Mr. Holder walking with you?
He walks, he's actually my crew, so he will be with me on the journey. And sometimes he'll walk a couple of miles with me.
Listen, I just know that I wanted to support and salute him because, it's to have a wife that's walking and exercising and carrying on like that is amazing. And the attention that you're getting is amazing. And the fact that he's there with you as your crew is as it should be. God bless him, and let him know that we are very proud to be men, myself and Jamal and the crew in here, not our good-looking friend here, Miss Riggins, but we're glad to be men as a result of knowing men like your husband, supportive, and that's very critical. And as we talk about how wonderful and important the work is of women, just like when we talk about the important work of men, we have to recognize that there are great women with them, and we have to recognize that women that are doing great things tend to have an image of a great man somewhere around, either their aunt, their uncle, their father, their brother, someone. In your case, it's your husband, and we salute him for supporting you like that. And he's probably walking more than any of us.
Oh man, he is.
I mean, just to keep up with you and give you water. So you're doing a good thing for him. But we wanted to know, Ms. Holder, what are you eating to make you...
Oh, my goodness. My nutrition should be a little bit better as far as the calorie intake. And so that's where my weakness is. I do eat healthy, but I just don't eat enough because sometimes I don't want to eat. Okay, for example, yesterday, I did good yesterday. I drank my water. I had about 100 ounces of water. I had 2 bananas, 2 oranges, 3 kiwi, a tuna sandwich, and then for dinner I had spaghetti with meatballs.
But
and it sounds like a lot, but really it wasn't a lot. It's just,
no,
my
I
brother
mean,
is
walking
part
as
of
much
my
as she
crew.
walks.
Yeah, I started to get off on that 100 ounces of water, but then I thought about how many ounces of sweat you put into that. So that's a great deal.
It's actually that I'm still under with the water, but I've been concentrating more on the water because I'm not a really big fan of water. But it's been hot, so I've been taking in a lot of water.
Well, we're encouraged for you by the fact that you're taking a cooler route. You're walking a couple 100 miles further than you walked last year, but it's a cooler route, so maybe that's a good substitute for the Las Vegas heat. But listen, we do encourage you. I want people to go to the website, yolandaholder.com. After you're off, we're going to spell it correctly and be sure that people can get to it. And we want to encourage folks to support you with their donations, with their sponsorship, and by getting off their rusty dusty and getting out and doing a little walking.
And where does the money go?
And yes, Mr. Lilly asked a good question. Where does the money go? How does that support your activity?
A portion of it sponsors the trip that cost me to do the trip, and then the other portion goes directly to American Diabetes Association.
American Diabetes Association. Very good. Well, we support you in every way we can, except that we're not going to walk a step for every step you walk. But we are going to clap every time we can think about you out there doing what you do and supporting all of the people beyond your immediate family. Though your immediate family was your catalyst for doing this, many people are benefiting just knowing that there's someone out there working out as hard as you do and caring at the level that you do. Yes, congratulations. Thank you for being part of us and allowing us to walk with you.
So to speak.
So to speak. Yolanda Holder, the walking diva, thank you very much. Good luck on your walk. God bless you. And maybe we can talk to you sometime around second as you end your race. We'll check with our date and see if we can accommodate letting folks know how successful you were, how good you feel, and what you ate on your day of success. All right?
Okay. Keep those calories up.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you. Keep the calories up. Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
Man, that is very amazing. Somebody with that kind of dedication, someone with that kind of follow-through, because, most of us have great ideas and things that we would follow up on. Mr. Evans, Mr. Leonard Evans is here with us.
Very good.
How do you feel about that? Does that make you feel a little less adequate about your morning constitution?
Less adamant?
Adequate in terms of, I know that you get up and you told me that you've been known to get up and shake a couple of legs and walk maybe a half a block or something. But
a little more than that. What I was thinking about the Hindu religion and how they teach about caring for the body, and they compare it to tending your fields. And they say you have to irrigate your fields, you have to irrigate the body. Well, when you get up and take a walk and get the heart pumping and get the blood circulating, turns out that there are things in that process that heal the body, bringing nutrition to the cells, taking waste away, letting everything function better with good irrigation.
Very, very good point.
The heart does that, and when you get out and walk. And then you talked about eating. It turns out in the Hindu religion, they have lots of holy men. And like any profession, there are specialists. So,
well, drinking the tea or drinking the Kool-Aid or figuring out the right thing to eat is definitely important.
Well, here's the
no. I'm making a transition here because
this is just a quick punctuation. They have sin eaters. So if you've done something wrong, if you feed this person, it takes away your sin. And there is psychology behind why that is.
Did you say sin?
What you believe about what you eat is what I'm getting at.
Did you say sin? S-I-N eaters?
Sin eaters, S-I-N, yes.
People are eating to get rid of sin.
No. The holy man specializes in doing this because he can eat the sin without getting bad karma. And you're trying to get rid of your bad karma. You're trying to feel better about something you did that was wrong. You give it to him in the form of food. So he comes around and says, "Hey, you got the problem."
That's like these guys getting dressed up on Christmas Eve like Santa Claus and walking from house to house eating people's cookies and milk. That's a sin.
Well, you could look at it that way.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to say something ridiculous so that we could move on.
Please.
This is we need to talk about that. But one of the things that I was alluding to as we talked about people drinking the Kool-Aid, folks, I don't know if you've noticed it, but a couple of days ago, Mr. Trump made a speech in Alabama to a crowd of people that was in a stadium that would hold 40,000 people. And since he only got 30-some thousand people there are some folks who want to say that he didn't have a successful rally. The thing that was going on before this rally was that Donald Trump couldn't cough or sneeze without media being there and putting him on live. One of the things that Mr. Trump did in his speech was point out how tender his behind is from the news media kissing it and chasing him and insisting that everything he do be live. And I noticed that, yes, he was right. He was being live on CNN, on Fox, and on MSNBC.
Yes, indeed.
They were chasing ratings because this man is capturing people's imaginations and attention all over the country, and as a result of that,
because of the hard evidence of the debate draw, that it was 10 times the audience you normally got, and all the media wanted a piece of that attention so they can raise their rates on more advertising.
And I think that they have been alerted by some of the more quote-unquote acceptable Republicans, because the media, that's the last I've seen of him since, Thursday. It's like they've decided that, well, he might be right. We may be looking a little funny, chasing him down, and I don't know. I'm not sure, but
they interviewed him this morning on This Week with George Stephanopoulos.
Good. Give me some of that interview in a moment, because now what I'd like to do is bring in two people that helped point attention to Mr. Trump. I would say that they ignited his campaign. I would say that because when I first saw them making their statements about Mr. Trump and expressing their support, they were the first black people that I had really seen exercise some point of real reason for liking Mr. Trump. And they are like a snowball rolling down a hill, have, I think, been collecting people for Trump ever since they got started. It's my pleasure to introduce Diamond and Silk, the two young ladies who have pushed themselves as the Trump girls, stumping for Trump.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you ladies doing?
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Oh no, it's a pleasure to have you. I don't know if I can capture some of that crowd of people following you around, I would be as lucky as Mr. Trump. On a serious note, you guys were in the beginning very serious about Mr. Trump.
We're still serious about him. We're very passionate about him. We are looking for him to be our next president. Yes.
I think that many people may have not been as serious about him as you were when they started listening to you. But as they find a group of people gathering around on this Trump train, I think it may be making some people take him a lot more seriously. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. They should take him serious. Listen, he is putting things into action. He is going down there looking at the border so that we can secure the border. He's uniting our country, and he is going to make America great again, and we really believe that. And we can no longer look at a candidate because of their skin color or because of their political party. We have to now look at who's going to best do the job, and we see him as best at doing the job, and that's why we stomp for the Trump.
That's right.
Well, you've been doing a great job doing that. Mr. Evans has pointed out that Mr. Trump's immigration idea, we heard a lot of people say, well, Mr. Trump wants to gather all of the illegal immigrants and ship them out and then ship them back into the country. Mr. Evans, how did you feel about that statement and the way people were interpreting it? And give us what you think is the way Mr. Trump would be handling something like that.
Well, my picture on that issue comes from Chuck Todd's interview with Donald Trump, and is standing in the back of his airplane. And he's asking him, what are you going to do? Has everybody got to go? Trump says, everybody's got to go. And he says, well, you're going to break up the family? He says, no, we're going to keep the families together. He says, well, how are you going to do it? Well, we're going to expedite it. And I thought to myself, I said, well, if you think about what he said and what he wants to do, it just popped into my head. Everybody could have to go, say, to the Mexican consulate or go down to the border and physically step onto Mexican territory. They fill up a card, they register, it takes 15 minutes or something like that. They pay a fee or arrange to pay a fee or get on payments or whatever, collect some money. And now they step back in. You know who everybody is. And how hard would that be to do? You could actually do that. Now, you wouldn't round people up, but they would see that now they have this whole thing off of them by simply doing this.
So actually, you're saying going to the Mexican consulate.
They're not citizens, but he's addressed the problem. Now, first with Donald, everybody said, oh, he's just talking, he's got no details. When he comes out with details and starts answering questions, all of those people don't look so good. And then they say, oh, the answers won't mean anything. And then when people are really discussing the answers, those people don't look so good anymore. So everybody, like the young lady mentioned, everything they thought was going to kill him made him stronger. Like I said, he's like a space alien. You know, you can't shoot him because he just gets bigger. And why? Because he's resonating with people. He is just speaking up about what people are frustrated about, and he's not afraid to simply talk to the people. He's not scripted. I mean, that's enough. There's my comment.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and discuss more about the impact of our guest, Diamond and Silk, the Trump girls, on the election potentially, on the race for sure.
Let me add one last thing and remind everybody.
Let me let you keep people on that cliff. Let me let you keep people on that cliff. Don't jump off. Make them wait. And we'll be right back to hear what Mr. Evans has got to say. I'm sure it's critical, very important. If you got a little extra something on your mind, you might want to go empty your bladder and come right back. We'll be back in a very short time. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, talking to the Trump girls and Mr. Leonard Evans.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. We're talking with two young ladies who have a Skype account, and they decided to speak into their Skype account about their passion for Donald Trump. They were upset by what one of the debate, so-called debate that was taking place, and one of the panel members, Miss Kelly, started asking the Donald questions that seemed to be more personal and historical than reaching into the future, concerned about his ability to be president. And our young ladies jumped on this like, why did you guys get so upset with that?
Well, first of all, during the debate, it was 24 million people watching that debate. Mm-hmm. That was a time to unite us, not divide us. Listen, our country is deeply divided on issues, on social issues. It is time to unite our country. And go back to immigration. Listen, Donald Trump just tells the truth. And the truth may make you feel queasy or uneasy, but the truth is what's going to set everyone free. There's a loophole in our system that causes illegal aliens, particularly the women, to come over here and have babies. We have to stop that loophole. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that people that's walking among us are American citizens. So he's just telling the truth, and he's telling it in plain English. That's why he's resonating. That's why he's leading in the polls. And you can find out more about what we stand for by visiting WeBeSisters.com.
That's WeBeSisters.com. We Be Sisters. That's plural at the end. Listen, how have people responded to you at a personal level? You are from the state of North Carolina, correct? Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. when you ladies walk the street, how do people respond to you now?
Well, it's like, first they didn't understand it, but now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Listen, we have been spoon-fed a narrative for so long, and it seems like nobody is listening to the American people. And the American people is tired of it. We have our own minds. We can think for ourselves. We don't need you feeding us a narrative. And we're looking at the person that's going to get the job done. And that's why we stuck for Donald Trump.
One of the things that the people that I've talked to have been very proud of as they listen to you talk is that they've not heard you say yet. You have
and you just did it.
And I do it all the time.
You know what you want to say, and you get it out.
And you get it
out.
I'm
very passionate about what I talk about. Very passionate. If I'm talking, I'm passionate about it. I won't talk if I'm not passionate about what I'm speaking about.
Exactly. And that passion comes from having a core idea of what you're saying. That's why Donald, he does the same thing. You ask him a question, he already knows at the base what he's talking about, so he speaks freely. He's always guided by that. He's not worried about, maybe somebody doesn't understand something. I know what I'm talking about, and I can back it up.
If the Donald were half as articulate as Diamond and Silk, he would have another 20 points on the polls. He's full of he's full of uhs and ahs and changing the sentence in the middle of the sentence, and that's because he's a free man. Certainly, people who have got to win in order to be sure they're going to get their next breath tend to be a bit more careful. He's not. You spoke of people coming to the United States to have babies, and I must admit it sounds like the only people that we're concerned about doing that are Hispanics or Mexicans coming across the border, when in fact here in Southern California in the last 2-3 months we've had big news stories about the fact that there are groups of Asians coming in who move into big luxurious houses and homes to have babies, who pay $50,000-$60,000 to come in and do that type of thing. And certainly it's upset some people and something's being done about it, but not to push and I think have a latent racist attitude about Mexicans, and I think that's what we're looking at.
Or Latinos.
Or brown-skinned people, period. Sure.
Can I just say something? Listen, nobody is hating on Hispanics. We love the immigrants of our country. We love them, but you have to be here legally. And
no, there are some people. There are some people definitely. There are some people definitely hating on Mexicans, and this is Mexicans and Latinos and brown folk, and that's why it's a hot button. But if we start looking at what you're looking at, the issue of legality, I think we'll find that there's probably as many Mexican American citizens who are concerned about the border as there is anybody else. The idea, one of the things that worries me about the border is the fact that we've got the danger involved with people having to sneak across. If they can pay, I'm like this. If they can pay a coyote $10,000 to come into the country, I don't see why we don't collect that money and assure those people of having life insurance or health insurance, any driver's licensing that they may need, and to know that they're free to come and go across that border as long as they put up what they need to put up in order to make the people feel safe. Health is an issue about crossing the border. Crossing the border without a health inspection is something that we should be concerned about. Mr. Evans, go ahead.
When we talk about the border, I never hear anybody talk about Cesar Chavez, the head of the Lettuce Workers Union. And he went down to the border to protest what? Illegal immigration. We never talk about how many Latinos are here legally and what that population represents and what are their interests. And I'm sure there are many more of them than there are people who are undocumented. And nobody stops to think that when Trump is talking, maybe these people are listening. Say, oh, my goodness, somebody who's finally, sees this issue here.
But, Leonard, when Trump is talking...
But what does that say about the people that's here legally, and then for someone to illegal cross the border? I mean, you had people that had to pay fees, learn how to speak English. So those people are looking at these people that's crossing over here illegal like that's not fair. It's not fair to the people that done the right thing by this country to become American.
That's right.
That's right. Not to mention the people who were Americans before America was America that were here.
Absolutely.
Their family and their descendants. All of these people, all these other candidates are not talking, understanding that this is who they're talking to. Mr. Trump is doing that. When he got up and talked about health care, he explained the change in Obamacare. Yeah, there's a good thing, but wait a minute. It's the insurance companies and the drug companies who've got everybody by the throat. Mm-hmm. Once I get that stuff straightened out, then everybody's going to get a better deal here.
Well, I think Trump. I think he's even in support. I think Trump is even in support of the single payer insurance.
Well, that was in the past, yes, but he didn't say that specifically. He simply, what he's doing is saying, "Look, here's the problem. I'm a negotiator. I'm a salesman."
Well, he showed his liberal. He showed his liberal panties when he said that. He showed his liberal. He showed his liberal side when he brings up the idea of the single payer, and he also shows his business acumen. Because as a negotiator, he understands that he can lower the prices of all of these pharmaceuticals if you negotiate correctly.
Look at his answer when he was asked about being a liberal. Aren't you a liberal? He said, well, let's look at Reagan for just a second. And he went on to say that Reagan had been a Democrat, he was a liberal and all this. And further, there were bills he passed where he quoted Democratic presidents like Kennedy and said this is something they wanted and got all this stuff done. So, I guess maybe he was a liberal too. Are you telling me Reagan was a liberal? I'm telling you, he was a conservative and so am I. I'm going to get things done. Answers like that, man, just throw everybody off. They don't know where to go. Why? There's
but that's the reason it throws. But the reason it throws everybody off.
We need a candidate that's going to put the American people first, and not these politicians that just shoot the jabble babble and nothing never get done.
That's right.
That's why this man is leading in the poll, and that's why we continue to stop for Trump. He's not political corrupt.
Let's hear
by
from
the political correctness.
Let's hear from Mr. Lilly.
Or tied to anyone's money.
Okay, guys,
he
let's hear from Mr. Lilly.
He is tied to someone's money, Leonard. He's tied to the international bankers. He is owing them on a daily basis, which is why he's been bankrupt many times and has gotten out of it many times.
Okay.
And so because he's beholden to their interests, he talks out of both sides of his mouth. Let me give you an example. When you're talking about illegal immigration, first of all, many of the Trump buildings, the Trump towers, the Trump hotel that he's building a few blocks away from the White House right now has used and is using illegal labor. Secondly, when you're talking about his support for economic initiatives, things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the North American Union, so on and so forth, all of these things are just throwbacks to the old Bracero program, which allows people to come in supposedly with some sort of sanction or some sort of registration process. But as you know, it will go the same way that the Bracero program went. There will be under-the-table situations that will allow these people, and it has already started to occur with this building of this highway through Texas that I'm sure you're aware of, where you have illegals coming in. You have pay-to-play type situations, sort of like a coyote situation, and these people are here, and they're not going back, and they're having babies here, and then they have that quote-unquote anchor baby, and Trump supported this and continues to support this.
Yeah,
he talks out of both sides of his mouth on the very issues that no one really delves into in depth to find out what is the man doing now. Not what has he done when he was a Democrat.
I think
what is he doing currently?
I think as a businessman,
what he preaches.
No, he's a businessman. He doesn't practice what he preaches. He practices. He practices what is legal.
He practices
what is legal.
Who he owes,
if it's to the business,
tell him he must do to pay them back on time.
If it's to the business advantage to do something legal, he's going to do that part. But the conversation that says, if you don't want me to do that, then we got to stop it from being legal. But right now, it's legal to bring people in illegally to work. It's legal to lie on a contract.
It's allowable.
It's legal to lie. It's legal to lie on a contract.
Legal.
We have
It's
allowed,
extra legal, meaning it's outside of the law.
I agree with you. It's acceptable. It's something that occurs.
Let me clarify my
and let me
position
finish.
real
Now.
quick.
Control that sound in there
Sorry.
a little bit. All right, that's okay. I just want to stay in charge. I'm kind of like the guys who want to be president. I want to stay in charge. Mr. Trump, I think, is excellent for this race because he's making people talk about things that they don't want to talk about, and he's promising things to people that they do want to hear.
But that he can't deliver.
Well, now we say he can't deliver.
Because the president doesn't make those kinds of decisions.
No, but the same
the
thing.
president doesn't
it's the same thing
galvanize
about
that type
It's
of.
the same thing about getting people to be documented. When he says get them out of here and bring them back, people think the hard way. They say take them out of the country and bring them back. Leonard, you even said take them to the border. All they got to do is go to the consulate. When they step into
whatever's easy.
I'm saying though, to describe it as easily as possible would be to say they walk into the consulate, they get documented. To me, I'm all into putting a chip on somebody, and so that we can follow them, we know where they are, and that's the issue: knowing what people are,
chip.
Knowing what they do. Yeah, I said chip.
Mark of the beast.
Yeah, I said mark of the beast. Is that it?
May I clarify?
Yeah.
When I talk about Donald Trump, I'm talking about technique. We
Yes.
haven't discussed the substance and the reality of
No,
his
Leonard,
doability. It's simply his response and how he's handled things.
You guys are scared, and I don't understand why. Because you got reputations of being strong intellectuals, and you don't want to be made to sound silly. But
I haven't taken
this
the
guy
position,
Trump,
is what I'm trying to say.
this guy Trump has got a few Trump cards. Maybe everybody else is playing with a 52 card deck. Maybe he got 54. But he's making moves. He's making moves that nobody expected that he would make. I think he's even caught by surprise. I think maybe Diamond and Silk were the only ones to see the purity of the potential with this man. They may be making him go straight than he was going to go. Because their passion, I think, is being matched by other people who show up, who would like to see something, hear something that's going to be positive about their future. And if Trump can make the other people get in line, maybe there's that future. I'm going to try to be quiet.
Wallace. It's all rhetorical.
I'm going to be quiet because it's important to let all of these sides go. We've got Jamal on where he's a reasonable person and he's looking at things with a level of reason that I probably don't have. Mr. Evans, we know that you're able to project things that, just for the sake of argument, you're a great salesman. These young ladies, Diamond and Silk, they're on this because they want this man to win. Have you guys, certainly everybody says you're on the Trump payroll. I don't. Do you have a problem with being on the Trump payroll if you had the opportunity?
That is the furthest thing from my mind. The thing that I want people to drill into people's heads is that we no longer need anyone feeding us a narrative, okay? We can think for ourselves. Let's stop looking at political parties and look at who is going to do the job and who is going to do it best.
Now that's that's hard to do simply based on people giving speeches. That's why we have folks who analyze things after the speeches are done.
Actions speak louder than words.
So what I would like to do, we've got 10 minutes. We've got 10 minutes left.
And remember,
one of the things, Leonard, this is for you too. We've got 10 minutes left. There are things of substance that people have that they're concerned about. You guys are tremendous cheerleaders. What are some of the substantive things that you feel Trump can do? And maybe I should ask,
or can't do.
And let's let Mr. Lilly ask a question, and let's let you guys answer it. Mr. Lilly.
First of all, how will you be able to change the will of the politics going on, the prevailing politics going on in Washington, if you're Donald Trump and you owe money to interests that don't want to see that happen? He finances his hotels. He finances his casinos. He finances his businesses. He owes people money, and they do not want to see illegal immigration go down the tubes, because if they did, they would lose what? Money.
Well, the
so
methodology
how do you propose that he will do such a thing when the people that he owes don't want it to happen?
Okay, question. Diamond, Silk.
So he's asking me how will he repeat.
How do you think that he will get that done when the people that he owes don't want it to happen?
Well, listen, anything is possible in this country. I think I'm talking to Jamal. What's
Yes,
your name?
Yes, you are, Jamal.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything is possible in this country. Let me tell you something. If they can take and they can change the institution of something that was here since the beginning of time, anything is possible in this country.
What was
so I'm
here
a little appalled that somebody is saying that he's not going to be able to do this, he's not going to be able to do that. That is why American
No,
people
I'm
are
asking you
upset.
to tell
That
me
is
how
why
it would be
the
done.
majority is speaking out.
I'm not
He's
asking
not
you-
saying what he can do.
I'm
That's
not-
what the politicians say.
No, what I'm saying to you is I'm posing a question. The question is how in the real world, the real environment of Washington politics and the real environment of American capitalism, will this man be able to achieve what you're talking about? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you, will he be able to? I'm asking you, how will he be able to?
Remember,
Okay,
the answer
Mr.
here-
Evans,
the answer
Mr.
here
Evans.
In one sentence, the answer here in one sentence is: remember, you need a cooperative Congress.
Correct.
Well,
If you don't have that as president, you can't get anything
Correct.
done. So if he can take enough people with him, and he's got to pressure, whatever, persuade enough people there to go along with him, then you would see this government work like it's never worked before. What Mr. Lilly is pointing out, that these people he must work with, they are being controlled by other interests.
Thank you.
Okay, they were there before he got there, and they'll be there when he's gone, and they're going
Precisely.
to tell him that when he gets to Washington. And if he's a nice boy, they might work with him.
So
go home.
that's
and
the
take
reality.
that with the
so what's
election
the
to bed
chances?
tonight.
What's the chances of this Congress? Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Excuse me. What's the chances of this Congress that has did everything it could to make our present president look silly, and he doesn't? They've not cooperated with him for 8 years. And if they take the same step, do you think these same guys will be as uncooperative with the Mr. Trump as they have been with
No,
President?
it'll be the guys on the other side of the aisle.
but
being
the
as
same level
uncooperative.
of
Won't be the same guys.
less.
It'll be the
of non-cooperation.
counterpart persons.
But so we'll be looking at a group of people who don't cooperate with the president.
Correct.
If
No,
Trump were
I
to
believe they're going to cooperate with the president because he's going to go in and call it shots. That's what he's going to do. He's going to be just fine. That's right.
Well, now, one
Because
thing that
he's
we
gonna
know
what?
about the president is that he doesn't have a lot of power. He has a lot of imagery, and that imagery can cause people to react in a way to create some power. We've seen Obama call out the forces, use social media to put pressure on elected officials, and certainly Trump has the kind of personality that could do that. My question is it necessarily bad for the country to have a situation where the Congress is not cooperating with the president? Is that going to draw the Congress together to make them functional for a period of time?
Why are you all focusing on Congress and them not working with the future president?
Well, no, we're not. We're simply saying that as a real circumstance, the way that Congress represents the divide. Congress has created and represented a divide that says if you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, I don't want to talk to you. If you're a Democrat and I'm a Republican, I don't want to talk to you. So that is there. That is actual. That is taking place. Now, regardless of whether the president is a Republican or a Democrat, we've still got these people who have to make the votes to Congress. They're split. If you don't recognize that, then we are kind of childlike as we look at the politics. Everybody in politics has got to cooperate with somebody somehow, create some type of manipulation to make things happen. And so we have to look at the possibilities of the interaction between Mr. Trump and Congress, either a cooperative or uncooperative Congress. Right now, the history says that there'd be an uncooperative Congress. So
well, just because they were uncooperative with the president now, Barack, does not mean that's going to happen with Donald Trump.
With
Listen,
that
I think
idea
we're
of
focusing on the
change,
wrong
with
thing.
that idea of drastic change, are you comfortable going into a Ku Klux Klan meeting expecting that, things change? Maybe these guys are different.
Plus, check out
No, I need an answer.
But
I want to know how drastic a change you can see taking place. Are you willing to put our future as a country on the idea that Congress is going to finally wake up because we get a guy in there that's aggressive enough, smart enough to get in there without being the normal type of politician that they're going? Listen, many of us say if Jesus Christ showed up, things wouldn't get much different. They'd probably get assassinated. So how are we going to get this change I think that we all want? We all want some kind of cooperation. We should want for us to be together. Maybe the idea of isolating ourselves a little bit, but Mr. Lilly says isolation is the last thing on Trump's mind because he's got the World Bank to deal with.
Exactly.
So
international financiers.
Now, I could see us becoming isolationists and maybe getting along better inside of our borders, but we'd have to really get our nuclear program going to.
It's not realistic.
Because you can't be the only ones at the table.
I will never say it's not realistic. I will
to be
never
isolationist?
No.
It's not realistic.
It can be done.
I don't want you guys to change.
You can never say something can't be done. It can be done.
I don't want you guys to change.
But at what cost?
Don't believe me.
About being isolationist. At what cost? I mean, you could say that the United States is a closed system and we're just going to keep to ourselves. But if you do that, you've now undone all of the progress that we've made over all these decades when we've now put ourselves in a position where we're not doing things that you said it existed from the beginning of time. I think you were alluding to slavery. But I'm saying the whole idea of change comes with cooperation and collaboration. So you can't be isolationist in that type of environment. Yeah. You have to be inclusive. So you can't. It's like it's an oxymoronic situation. You can't have both. You can't have.
Do you believe that Trump could be president? Do you think he can get elected?
Sure, he could be president.
Do we believe
but
that
will he be effective at delivering what he says he can deliver?
Well, that's the question. That's the question. That's the question we all ask, and because the one thing Mr. Evans brings up, every new president is going to find out something that he didn't know within a couple of hours. That's the briefing or debriefing that he takes. Once he gets to be president, something flattens out on everybody. Once they get the news that the bureaucrats have for them, they all tend to flatten out. The promises don't be as deep. But listen.
10 seconds or less.
10 seconds or less. We got to go.
The business logic that applies to the private sector is often exactly opposite of the business logic that applies to running governmental institutions.
Absolutely, because we've got people to care about, not just dividends.
Trump's appeal is emotional. If he gets enough people fired up.
Ladies.
And the sitting people think they need his endorsement.
I'm passionate about this. He's gonna be the next. He's gonna be the next president. We gonna stop.
And he won't do anything. It won't change.
Ladies, listen. You guys keep up your hard work, just like Mr. Lilly's going to keep up his, and Mr. Evans, and we're all going to do what we do. When we meet at the finish line, we're going to close hands and wrap each other up in a big hug and say, "I love you." That's the number one thing that we're going to do. Okay, that's the main thing. So you guys keep up your hard work. God bless you. He has blessed you.
All right. Don't forget, WeBeSisters.com and We Be Y'all Sisters.
Very good. And I don't want you folks to forget YolandaHolder.com because she's walking 525 miles this week and on her way to a 10,000 miles for the year. This is Empire Talks Back. Wallace Allen on the case for truth and justice. Out of here next week under two circumstances. One, the good Lord willing. Two, the creek don't rise. God bless you. Thank you so much.
KCAA Loma Linda.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
Lots of day baseball going on. I'm Pete Fox. We'll update those scores in a second. First, Tiger Woods chasing the lead at the Wyndham Championship. He's currently sitting at 13 under par, two back of Jason Gore's lead. He's 15 after shooting an 8-under round of 62 yesterday. Tiger on Gore.
We're great friends, and from junior golf into college, and into the pro ranks. I mean, he's always been a great friend, and it's going to be fun for us to battle like this. We haven't done it basically since college. We've been in different eras, different tournaments, and unfortunately we just haven't had that opportunity. He's been hurt, I've been hurt, and finally we're here in a situation where we can have a little fun just like we did back in junior golf and amateur golf.
Woods and Brown have just hit the course. Gore, along with Jonas Blix, get going in about 5 minutes. Baseball from the Bronx. The Indians have a 2-0 advantage on the Yankees after a Carlos Santana home run. Detroit up on Texas 1-0. Arizona and Cincinnati, along with Philly and Miami, are both scoreless. Minnesota